Hey Alpha fam, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, of course, we're going to go over that massive pump on the BTC chart as well as all of the alts just following right along. Guys, if we do just hop over to the chart, you can see that, of course, we did get this nice pump to close the week with. And if we do go back to our patterns that we've been watching, of course, we had this channel. We have officially broken out of that channel that I did suggest was likely in yesterday's episode. And of course, we now are on a pullback watch, right? We've basically built up this fair value gap here, and we could have a pullback where we flip this into support, or we might just violate it and fall all the way back down to this mid channel or even our lows. Now, personally, I think that we're likely to hold this area. In particular, we've already put in a 4-hour candle above there, and so it is being supportive, but we could just go ahead and pull back a little bit deeper and grab that liquidity that is in that fair value gap. If we do put our pattern over it, you can see that our inverted head and shoulders is just holding up pretty well. It did pump as expected. And so, of course, if we do just draw out our measured move here, we are kind of looking in this area of 29,300, maybe a little bit of a stretch goal up to that $29,700 area. So somewhere thereabouts, I would expect this measured move to be over and would likely take heavy profits there. However, before that happens, as I mentioned in the previous episode, we do want to see if we can flip this area into very solid support and keep going, or if we find some type of a wobble. Now, if we do just go over to our daily charts, you may be asking, why didn't you tell us earlier to get in this? And of course, we did, right? Here at Alpha Commission, we did mark out this momentum pool here approximately on the 11th or the 12th. And when we did recover that pool, that would have been that long opportunity. And then being above the pool, above the volatility pivot, everything was a go just to cross this channel and kind of challenge this area up here. Of course, we did have a deep pullback, but we never violated the pool. So as long as you respected the alpha momentum pool, then you were in good shape, and you could have just sat in this long and carried out the entire move here, which essentially so far is about a 10% move on BTC, so nothing to sneeze at. And of course, if you did take your profit up here, the fact that we held above the pool and above the volatility pivot should have been a pretty good clue that strength was in this chart. And then, of course, I did give an update, and the updated pool did suggest that there was another one right here where you could have just taken a long off of the bottom of that pool. And so you would have been able to capture, at least half of this move, approximately 7%. So a good portion of that move, even if you had a late entry and just wanted that extra confidence. Now, of course, we should update the pool for today. And as you can see, corresponding to that dramatic pump that we did have right at the closing bell hours on the weekly close, we do have a very large pool here. So if we do fall back into the pool, then a very bullish pullback would be just to the retest the bullish control zone at 27,680. And if we do want to just kind of retest this vague area and really kind of fill in that fair value gap and grab that liquidity, then we could have a modest pullback to the volatility pivot at 27,198, which would retest the breakout of that inverted head and shoulders. And if we do a pullback deeper than that, which the pool is suggesting is possible, then we would be looking towards the bottom of the pool here at 26,979, or possibly even 26,694. Now that would violate about 50% of our fib on a wick basis. So I am, hoping that we don't get too far below that neutral point of control. A flash wick there and then just a pop back up would be probably okay, but we really want to hang on to that 382 and preferably in that 236 area just to show the intensity of the move to the upside there. Of course, if we take a smaller fib from this secondary entry here, then you can see that in fact that would violate the 50% and just make this a bearish retrace should we violate the bottom of the pool. So really, in order to maintain that bullishness, I am hoping that we stay above that volatility pivot, above 27,198, and preferably above 27,680 to show that energy for continuation. Now that won't give everybody, you know, a good entry if we do push off there, or even if we just keep going, as long as we're holding our momentum at 27,995, we can't just count on this thing retracing. It could retrace later, right? Sometimes we just don't come back to fill those gaps. We just keep going, just like how we did when we dropped down here. So again, you're just going to play it by ear. If you do fall back into the pool under 27,995, then you would be targeting those two areas for a potential late entry, and we would be longing because, of course, we're going to be above the neutral point of control. We really wouldn't want to be taking shorts in this area, at least not something to hold unless we violate this zone, unless we violate the pool and the neutral point of control, and then lose that Bollinger Band midline on the daily there. Guys, let's go ahead and take a look at our weekly history, because of course we did have that pool where we did get that epic short down to the alpha energy line, where we did be able to find some holding momentum there. Of course, that did build in a very large pool because of that dramatic drop. And you can see, just as I promised in yesterday's episode, we were highly likely to finish filling that pool. And so if this is going to be some type of a fake out, some type of just not an inverted head and shoulder, but maybe some type of bear flag of some sort or something, then we would re-enter the pool and break down against that neutral point of control there, and just perhaps come all the way down to this midline here, where if we did lose that, that could forebode a greater move to the downside. However, for the current week that did just close, we did close quite bullishly. So again, I'm just not of that mindset right now. I am looking to the upside with perhaps a brief pullback just to flip this into more solid support before pushing up or just continuing to the upside personally. Guys, I think that I am going to leave it there. That's our alpha for the day. Stay safe and happy trading.